Welcome back, everybody. I just bought these two lots at an estate auction. I paid $120 for this lot. That was the hammer price. There's also auction fees and tax on top of that. And I paid $90 on the hammer price for this box. I believe $120 plus fees is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $140. I would say that's a lot to pay for this box, especially since I didn't see it in person. This auction was only about 10 minutes away, but just wasn't able to get over there during the preview time. On the photos, I could see about 15 or 20 sockets. I could see the brands. 5 or 6 were Snap-on. The others were US-made brands. A lot of the tools at this sale were US-made brands, and I figured, well, there's about 100, maybe 150 sockets in this box. And if they're all US made and maybe there's 15 or so Snap-on sockets, I'd be willing to take a risk. And then on this box, in the photos, I could see this bent-handled ratchet. I saw a couple of the ratchets, and obviously I could see a bunch of Craftsman wrenches. So what I'm going to do is start with the socket box, but I'm going to do a little bit of organization first, so we're not just going socket by socket, because that would take forever. Okay, so there was about 150 sockets total. I have them sort of sorted out here. This group here is all foreign and modified or broken sockets, or no name. Or this one here looks like it does something specific, but there's no markings on it. What I left in the box is almost all US made. There's probably a couple that are not. Most of it's going to be Craftsman, and there's a couple SK. There's a couple of Indestro, and then I have these here are all Craftsman. Got a couple of drag-link sockets. I got a stud remover, Craftsman. And this group here is just more American made. This is a Duro Indestro. SK, there's Blackhawk. This is SK. There's Armstrong. There's some of these Armstrong Allen or hex bit sockets. And then there was this Proto 6524, some sort of specialty socket for like a oil sender or something like that. Just more US made sockets. So about 90% of the box was US made. Many different brands, of course. Mostly Craftsman. Second to that would probably be SK. And then if we're going to go look at the tool truck tools, there's a Cornwell tool in here, the deep 9/16 half-inch drive. Then we have a little rusty Mac half-inch drive swivel. This is a 3/4 inch. We have a Mac spark plug socket. It does not have the rubber insert anymore, but I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to get another one. And then we have a 3/8 drive Mac, obviously rusty. I think I should do a video on how I clean these up. This is a half-inch 3/8 drive half-inch socket. So I'm going to set these two aside and clean them up and just try to see a before and after picture. I won't do it in this video, but I'll do it in a different video. So left over is 35 Snap-on sockets. So like I said in the photo, I could see maybe 6, 7, 8 of them. And I took a risk, and I think it paid off. So even if you want to cancel out everything else here and say that I paid $140 just for the Snap-on sockets, we'd be at a $4 average with 35 sockets in there. I think $4 average for Snap-on sockets is a pretty good price, especially when there's multiple specialty sockets in here. Well, there is one that's this one's modified, so this one's junk. But so I guess we'll say there's 34. So there's 5 hex sockets. This one's a little bit worn. Then we have this large flat slotted bit. And then I'll just pull out the regular sockets next. You got a 7/16, a 1 inch, another 1 inch, Of course, these are impact sockets. We've got one more impact here. It's a 3/8 half-inch drive. There was also a bit socket missing a bit. It's 5/32. There's 6. I believe these are all half-inch drive, shallow 6-point sockets. I believe they're all SAE. There's 7 of the 3/8 sockets. Some of these are metric. All are 6-point, or all of these are 12-point except for this is SK. So we're down to 33. There was little T20 Torx. This is old. That is definitely the old logo there. I'm gonna guess this is a old school drag link socket. I don't even know if it has a part number on. I don't think it's been modified, because I've seen sockets like this before. It's got a stamping of an 8 there, but I guess there's a chance it's been modified. Then we have this SX2 extension, half-inch drive. We got a CPT 110A. I believe this is an oil filter, not an oil filter, but a drain plug socket. We have a 3/8 to 1/4 adapter. And we have an S801. If this has not been modified, which I don't believe it has, I think this is like an antenna socket, or maybe for taking out certain radios, but I'm sure looking it up will tell me what it's for. And here's one I've never had. It's an A118. It's a specialty socket, probably for taking off some sort of sensor or oil sender switch or something like that. Of course, I'll look it up and I'll put up what it's for. That's a 3/8 drive, by the way. And finally, in that box, we have an old school swivel. You see the old logo on there. Can't quite make that out. I don't know if that says 7/16. I think just the snap-on sockets alone were likely worth what I paid. You may not agree, but if you include 100 US made sockets, even if you said they're worth 50 cents a piece, now you could take $50 off the total and say I paid 90 for the snap-on stuff. So next we'll move on to this box, and again I think I'm going to organize it a little bit so we don't just pick piece by piece. Okay, got that one sort of organized. Definitely some pleasant surprises in this box I did not see in the photos, and we will go over those in a second. Starting off with the sockets here, there's quite a few Craftsman sockets. These two have been modified. Drag link socket and then a bit socket. A little bit of not sure where they were trying to get with that guy, but a little bit of modification on those. There is a little #1 Phillips in here, although it looks like it's just shoved into a 1/4-inch socket. And then also in the box I have additional 1/4-inch drive sockets. There were 16 Craftsman wrenches that I counted. Most of them are the double open end, and there's a couple of combinations in there, a couple of metrics, mostly SAE. There was a Max swivel spark plug socket. I don't see the rubber insert in there, and somebody replaced this end with a Williams, so I guess for my own personal use it may come in handy, but otherwise it's Frankenstein. Here's something I've never had before. It's an Indestro super 1/4-inch swivel adapter. There was a 12-inch Craftsman adjustable, a 10-inch adjustable, and then a really nice pair of pliers here. And I don't know what the proper name is for this style pliers. Looks a bit like a battery pliers, but I'm going to guess there was a certain purpose for these pliers, but if you know what that is, go ahead and comment below. I will try to look it up. I don't see a part number on these, which is a little strange for Craftsman not to have a part number, because they had part numbers going pretty far back. But yeah, if you know what that one's for, go ahead and leave it in the comments. What I could definitely see in the photos was this this 1/2-inch flex head bent handle wrench, or I'm sorry, ratchet. It's a 3/8 drive. So I figured, you know, to me, this was worth about 15 bucks. I figured the wrenches, I usually put like $2 a piece on them. When I see adjustables in there, I'll put like $3 or $4 a piece on them. So just kind of giving you an idea how I get to my price of what I'm willing to pay for something. I did see this this 1/2-inch ratchet here, this Craftsman, in the box. This is the old, I believe they call it the Flying V, or some people call it the Butterfly. I really like this style. It's hard to find them in really nice condition. If I do find them in really nice condition, I do keep those. I've got this old 1/4-inch. I think this was made by Plum or Proto. It's got that style of head on it. The old V ratchet. Now, I believe V with no part number is probably late 50s to early 70s or late 60s. There was a little 1/4-inch. I mean, yeah, it is a 1/4-inch. It's a 1/4 by 5/16 little ratcheting wrench. There's an offset, 4-way offset wrench. It's a flat slotted. I think I saw this one in the pictures. I wasn't sure who made it, but this is the Ward's Master. So this was the Montgomery Ward's house brand. I did a little research on the last one I had. You can see the patent number there. So this was made by Duro. I don't know if it was when they were Duro Indestro, but the patent on this goes back before Indestro was in the picture. So I said in my last video, I thought maybe this was an Indestro style ratchet. I guess technically I'm kind of right, being Duro and Indestro teamed up down the road, but I just think it's a neat looking ratchet. I like the logo, and I've actually got one of each size, 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2, so I'm going to end up hanging on to those. The next little surprise in here was this snap-on. It's a F5L. Let's see if we can get that to focus. This is a little sliding breaker bar. It is a little bent on one side. I guess I'll have to put a little pipe on it because it's hard to bend with your hands. But yeah, it's still usable the way it is. But that's a nice little surprise. I didn't see that in there. But the biggest surprise that I pulled out was this guy right here. This is a Diamond. It's called a Handy Boy. Diamond Duluth. It's a DH18, I believe that says. Not only is it in very nice condition, but I've never had one of these before. I collect diamond tools. I collect the ones that have the green handles on them. If they're in nice shape, I keep them because they're hard to find in nice shape. I've got some that are new old stock, but I've never had one of these. I'm glad it's in such nice condition. It has like a screwdriver, flat tip screwdriver end on this side. Obviously like a 4-inch adjustable on that side. Well, actually that might be more like a 6-inch adjustable. 4-inch would be smaller than that. And then obviously a slip joint pliers, which is, the joint is very tight on there. I mean, I can barely operate it one-handed. That's kind of interesting how that's set down in there. Usually like there's a little bit of a bolt sticking out, but that one's set down in there. So I'll flash you a picture on the screen of what these sell for. And without looking, I believe they're around $35 to $50 a pair. I'm going to keep these. I'm not going to sell these just because, like I said, I collect diamond. These are in really good shape, and it was a great surprise in this box. So I definitely think, you know, after seeing what was actually in here, it was definitely worth the gamble to pay the $90 plus fees. I don't know what you guys think, but that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.